number of times that you think he's dead in the water and that play is not over is absurd.
Yeah.
It's absurd. Boise State running back Ashton Jeanty, a.k.a. one of the very few in this class. You're on the clock. He is available. Run your happy butt up there and turn the pick in. Player profile.
Sprint.
Ashton Jeanty is the running back for Boise State. I hate running backs. And when I say that, if you care about context, I don't actually mean it. But running back is one of those positions where how valuable are you in relation to other positions when the best at the position make $17 million and some guys make 60 and receivers make 40, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Ashton Jeanty's an incredible player.
Mm-hmm.
Ashton Jeanty he doesn't have a weakness. He's a stud.
Yeah.
He exists above the line of being a running back. That's what I got.
Yeah, and I think one of the toughest things about taking a running back that early is because you talk about value, right? And by taking a first-round pick, you get a fifth-year option. That's kind of why you do these guys early. And with Ashton Jeanty, that might honestly be the extent of his meaningful impact in the NFL. Yeah. That's the tough thing. He had over 700 carries, which means he's got some tread on the tire, very physical. If you watch the Penn State game, their whole mentality was, we are just going to attack you and hit you and try to just limit you. He's got a lot of tread on the tires, as I mentioned. But the thing is, I think for 5 years, that's worth it. I think Ashton Jeanty is that good. I think this is a guy, we'll talk about second contract when it comes. I want Ashton Jeanty to have an impact for the Dallas Cowboys for that 5 years, and I don't care what happens after that.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing is, you can talk about awards and stats, and, he ran for 2,600 yards. And yes, the numbers are absolutely gigantic. And I think you turn on tape and you watch Ashton Jeanty and you just go, oh, okay, there's literally nothing about the position that he's not really, really, really good at. And that changes things for an offense.
Yeah.
I also am kind of a believer that if you have a highly drafted name guy that the other team knows you want to give the ball to, that it affects how they play you, and that having somebody like Ashton Jeanty could help the Cowboys in the form of the other team goes, oh, like when you had good Zeke.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they want to give it to this guy.
Yeah.
They want that to be their offense. We need to do something about that. And he can help other guys. And there's a lot of plays where I think in the NFL they would be dead. And for Ashton Jeanty, they might not be dead. Yeah. He led college football by a mile in broken or forced missed tackles. If you don't line him up, and wrap him up, he keeps running.
Yeah.
The number of times that you think he's dead in the water and that play is not over is absurd.
Yeah.
It's absurd. And so, you want Ashton Jeanty on your football team.
Yeah, and I think because people say, hey, look, the Cowboys offensive line still figuring things out. Zach Martin's gone. Tyler Guyton is kind of a mystery. They still have a right guard in Brock Hoffman probably, but maybe some competition there with Robert Hunt. But I think that he still is kind of a remedy for those kind of problems too. I think we talked about it. There's a chart out there, missed tackles forced versus, I think, Pro Football Focus grade.
It's yards after contact per carry and forced missed tackles per carry.
He nearly broke the chart.
Yeah.
They couldn't even fit him on the chart. He's that far good in this category. And the other thing, too, is you look at what the Dallas Cowboys have done at running back so far in free agency. Yeah, they added Javonte Williams. They added Miles Sanders. But those two guys, what do they have in common?
Washed. Is that what you're going for?
Fair, because what I was going to say was they do not get yards after contact. They do not have yards over expectation. If you look at their next-gen stats, they're all negative vastly in that category. The Cowboys need someone that can not only do the home runs, right, can get a lot of 10-plus yard carries, but they need someone that can make a negative 2-yard carry into a 5-yard carry. And I think Ashton Jeanty, just turn on the Penn State game, because people are like, well, look, he only had 3.7 yards per carry in that game or whatever. He should have had 1.
Yeah, watch what a normal human would have had.
Yeah.
The number of, I always forget it, but after the game I know that I saw the number of how many broken tackles he had against Penn State to get to 3 point something. It was
21. It was
right. So maybe Abdul Carter was the best player on the field that day, but if it was him or Ashton Jeanty. Like he's also well-rounded. Like, to me, a big part of an early drafted running back is you're not just a runner. You got to be a receiver.
Yeah.
You got to block. You got to do all of those things if you're going to exist in a world where I'm going to use a first-round pick on a running back. I think this draft is also unique in terms of you don't have the same number of guys you feel great about that play edge rusher, offensive tackle, the quarterback, but not that the Cowboys would pick that. But you don't have the same number of elite prospects at premium position, which allows a guy like Jeanty. And I think as a prospect, he ranks with insert your favorite running back here.
Yeah.
Zeke, Barkley, Bijan is a guy that I had way, way up there. And Ashton Jeanty exists in that mold. So even for the guy who doesn't love running backs at the top of a draft, when you start talking about at 12 and you start talking about a guy that is the elite of the elite in terms of running the ball, that is dangerous in the passing game, that can pass protect, you've drawn up the profile for a guy that I can pick at 12 and be really happy about.
Yeah, and I think Brian Schottenheimer is still kind of a little bit of a mystery in terms of what he's going to be as a play caller. Wasn't that for the Dallas Cowboys the last 2 seasons? Obviously, he's had plenty of coordinator history, but he's talked about how he's kind of evolved and developed new things and kind of watched a little bit of around the NFL in his time being away from being an OC. So we kind of don't know exactly what he's going to be, but history would tell us Brian Schottenheimer wants to run the ball. And I think if there's a guy there that you can just say, you know what, you're going to be our bell cow and we're going to hand it to you for the next 5 years and we're going to totally be content with that, I think that's something Brian Schottenheimer would like.
Jeanty or bust. If you get on the clock and Ashton Jeanty is available, you pick Ashton Jeanty. If he is not available and you pick a running back, I riot. It's a one-man riot at my house, which is really just holding a sign saying, I don't like this. But, yeah, it's Ashton Jeanty or bust in the first round for the Cowboys, according to this guy. Here's our very own Fran Duffy, our all-city draft expert guru. He's a beast with his quick player profile, some info on the great Ashton Jeanty.
All right, let's talk about Ashton Jeanty, the running back from Boise State, a Heisman Trophy finalist, won the Doak Walker Award as the top running back in college football, was a first-team All-American, and a 2-time winner of the Mountain West Conference Offensive Player of the Year. When you watch this guy, there is a lot to like, obviously. One of the top playmakers in this draft. The big thing, though, is that this guy was super productive, and everybody knew he was the guy to stop for Boise State. So even though he went up against a lower level of competition most of the time, they tried to load the box and stop him, and he still found a way to gain huge chunk plays. This guy hit 1,000 yards rushing before he was able to hit 100 carries. So he was able to average over 10 yards a pop to start the season. Just an outstanding profile here.
Ashton Jeanty, too, is a guy that went to Frisco Lone Star High School. And when I was covering high schools at the Dallas Morning News, I had to do a top 100 recruits in the area every single year of senior recruits. And Ashton Jeanty didn't have any offers at the time, but people kept telling me, this guy is just super good. He's going to go to senior season and tear things up. Don't worry about the offers. They're going to come. Eventually, I put him at 70-something, right? Because I was like, the offers aren't there. I made a mistake because the offers started to come. He still chose to stick with Boise State. He's been a playmaker since day one at Lone Star. He finished it at Boise State. He'd be fantastic if he came back to Dallas and stayed.
Oh, it'd make Jerry Jones so happy to have a star running back, too. Maybe that's the most important thing. If Jeanty's available at the 12th overall pick, he will be a Cowboy because those jerseys will move, baby. Yeah. And that matters. It would be lovely. I think the odds are that somebody's probably going to snap him up before you. But if not, even running back hater number one, the president of the Running Backs Don't Matter trademark club, says you may pick Ashton Jeanty at number 12 overall. Sign up to be a diehard. You'll get access to Fran Duffy's draft guide, his rankings, all those different things. Let us know in the comments what sort of snack you would buy to celebrate if the Cowboys end up with Ashton Jeanty, and have yourself a fantastic day.